Welcome to Embracing Infinity, exploring the infinite oneness in the space of love and truth. Host Jennifer Rose is an international spiritual medium, healer, channeler, mentor, and transformational guide. Her focus is encouraging individuals to know themselves within the lens of their divine heart and highest potential, to evolve within the frequency of love and peaceful harmony. Now, here's your host, Jennifer Rose.
Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. Welcome to Embracing Infinity. I'm Jennifer Rose, and we are on the Sacred Spiral Network. How are you all doing today? How have you been enjoying the energetic shifts that we've been having? It's been pretty crazy and wild out there for sure. But beautiful enough, a lovely shift happened yesterday. I was chatting with Danny about it backstage. But it feels really good, everybody, too. So hopefully you're feeling just a little bit of extra perk, a little extra happiness, a little bit of like, ooh, something's feeling kind of good in the ethers there too. So very excited about today's show because we have a lot of really important astrological happenings to discuss here today. And so you're in the right place because then you'll know how it's going to kind of affect you and how you're feeling in your life and the world and everything like that. So we can kind of make a better sense out of everything too. So I see you're all joining us here. So again, thank you all for being here and choosing to share this space with us here today. It's a safe and loving space, and we're blessed to be in such a wonderful and loving community as well too. Very quickly, just a few announcements here for you today. This coming Sunday is my For the Love of Spirit Sunday spiritual service. It is our final one before summer break, and then we will be returning about mid-September as well too. So my dear friend and beautiful soul, Jeffrey Dennison, will be joining us as our guest speaker, and you just don't want to miss him. He is so full of love and philosophy and wisdom. So we're very excited to have him joining us as well. And myself is going to be doing the mediumship demonstration for this particular service. As you know, I usually always have guest mediums come on. But just for this one, I will be doing the mediumship. And of course, we have the lovely and gorgeous Nancy Muratella and Fran Pierce and Kelly Brickle as part of my team. And they help with the poetry and with the healing and the inspiration as well, too. So please do join us in this loving space. And then coming this Monday, we have a really fun lineup as well, too. We usually start off with Inner Realms, Outer Journeys with Karen Bonafilio. And after that, Brian Lahr from Be in the Light comes on and his show on the Sacred Spiral Network, and I will be his guest. And we will be talking about the sexy shadow, so that's going to be a lot of fun. And then he's going to hop on my show, The Love Show, my sister show at 6 p.m. Pacific, to be my guest. And we're going to be sharing a lot of his artwork that has a more erotic flow to an erotic essence to it as well too. So please do join us for that. I'll be posting that very shortly. So we basically have a really sexy, fun Monday coming up for y'all. So please do join us for that. Look forward to seeing you. And with that, I'd love to get caught up on my hellos to all of our beautiful friends who are here. I did see Jeffrey is here as well. So hello, my friend. Welcome. Thank you for being here. I'm so happy to see you. I also see our friend Arnie Layton is in the house as well, too. Hello, Arnie. Thank you for being here, too, my friend. Greetings, Mr. Jeffrey. Jess Walton, hello. Thanks for joining us, sweet love. So happy that you're here. Also, Me and My Shadow. Welcome, Me and My Shadow. Great to see you, too. Thank you for joining us. And Brian, hello. Hey, my friend. Looking forward to seeing you on Monday. We're going to have so much fun together. You guys just do not want to miss that. Okay, there's Mr. Danny. He's saying hello to everybody over in the live chat. Welcome. Great to see all of you too. And we also have Ashley, the No Filter Medium. Please do go give her a follow as well. She's a wonderful medium, as is Jess Walton too. So very happy to give a shout out to my fellow mediums that are joining us here today. I see Cheryl Lyon is here as well too. Welcome, Cheryl. Beautiful Jennifer McCormick, also a big astrology fan and very knowledgeable. So look forward to seeing your comments as you join Danny and myself here today too. So, and our beautiful Lynn Juno is in the house. As you know, she hosts Kaleidoscope of the Soul, also on the Sacred Spiral Network every other Friday. And she was just on my show, The Love Show, last Monday, and it was very well received. You might want to go and watch the replay of that. We had so much fun talking about her love story. But yeah, it was such a fun show as well too. So am I all caught up? Let me see. I hope so. Natasha, hello. I want to make sure I welcome everybody and don't miss anybody too. Thank you, Lori, for helping me with all of our comments here today. And I think we're caught up. I think we're all caught up for now. Okay, beautiful. Oh, Ariel, I want to say hello to you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We have a beautiful group here today. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, now, my friends, here we go. Welcome to a powerful new cosmic chapter. On July 26th, that's this coming Sunday, the cosmic axis of fate takes a major turn as the North Node, I almost said North Pole, my goodness, as the North Node officially enters Aquarius for an 18-month journey. The major astrological transit shifts our collective destiny away from performative ego validation and directly towards authentic community, innovation, and divine alignment. Compounding this fated energy, Neptune is retrograde in Aries, rolling back the fog of illusion to deliver a massive reality check to our identities and relationships. At the exact same time, we are experiencing the peak of the hyper-rare Barbault Basket, the Cosmic Cradle, an extraordinary geometric alignment hailed by astrologers as the most beneficial configuration of the century and a splendid relaunch of human civilization. And I'm telling you, I have felt the shift. I'm super excited about it. In this highly anticipated episode, here today on Embracing Infinity, I am joined with a visionary astrologer and integrative healer, Danny Santos, to break down exactly what this massive cosmic reset means for you, your spiritual path, and the world at large. So, my friends, we will be talking about the Aquarius Leo axis, fated blueprints, navigating this massive personal and global upgrades through 2028, Neptune retrograde in Aries, the Barbault Basket, the twin flame connection, and spiritual alchemy as well too. Our beautiful guest, Danny Santos, who many of you know and love. He's been on Embracing Infinity a few times and on The Love Show. He is a visionary healer and astrologer behind Santos and the Crystal Visions, where ancient wisdom meets modern spiritual practice. With over 20 years of experience in astrology, Santos offers transformative birth chart readings, spiritual life coaching, and intuitive magic. In 2023, Santos traveled to Peru and was honored with the blessings of the Shipibo tribe to serve ayahuasca, a sacred milestone that deepened his path as a healer. A certified breathwork instructor, Reiki master, sound healer, and expert tarot educator, he is a certified platform medium through the Los Angeles Spirit Academy. Santos is also a proud graduate of USC's School of Cinematic Arts. His work has been featured in major media outlets such as New York Post, Vice, Bustle, Well and Good, BuzzFeed, Outfront, and he has been a guest on popular podcasts including Lisa Rinna and Harry Hamlin's Let's Not Talk About It, Let's Not Talk About the Husband, and Dates and Mates with Damona Hoffman, and of course Embracing Infinity and The Love Show too, and a few other podcasts on the Sacred Spiral Network. You can find Danny on Santos at santoscrystalvisions.com. We will be putting that along the screen for you all as well on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook at Santos Crystal Visions. Let us welcome our dear friend, Danny Santos. Hello. Oh, she brought you on already.
We need to shorten that bio, girl.
I had the screen in front of you, so I didn't know you were on screen with me already.
That's okay.
Because I was reading.
I'm thinking
Welcome, my friend.
I need to shorten the bio so that we're not listing every single achievement I've ever done.
Oh, it's a beautiful bio. I enjoy reading it. Okay, my friend.
Thank you, Jennifer. It's lovely to be here with you.
Yeah, thank you for coming back. We got a lot of really major stuff happening. Hello to our friends who have just joined us as well. I see Kay Weezy and Evelyn has joined us as well. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you. Okay, how have you been since last time it seems like ages, but it really hasn't been that long since we did our astrology show. last time.
I've been good. You know, the astrology, we're
Yes.
just exiting Mercury retrograde that completed yesterday.
Yeah.
From the general consensus of everyone I know, this was one of the more gnarly retrograde cycles that we've had for quite some time. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's
Yeah.
definitely
People were
been,
feeling a little lost and confused and hopeless and things like that. But, and I think it's a little more than the Mercury retrograde, but I felt a big shift yesterday. I was just like, whoa, it's like everything, it's almost like we hopped back on a different timeline or something happened, but I felt it and it felt really good too. I was like, oh, this feels good. This feels like it's where it's supposed to be. So I was excited to experience that.
yeah. And I mean, everything with Barbault's Basket, you know, Lynn had messaged me asking me about this. And she and I were talking a little bit about it over chat, but I got the full info on that. So I'm excited to talk about that. I'm excited to talk about the North Node entering Aquarius, the Saturn, or excuse me, the Neptune retrograde. We have so many tremendous shifts that are just continuing between now and 2028. And we're really doing it. Like as a collective, we're making those shifts.
We are. I got chills as you said that too. So I'm really excited about it too. I really see us going in a positive new direction. And I feel like we all need that. We all need to hear it. We all need to know that this is happening, that this is real, and we're part of this, super energetic transformation. So it's a very exciting time to be alive on the planet, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely.
All
And
right.
oh, it's going whether we are ready or not. Like we're being flung into the future. We're being asked to go forward.
Indeed we are. Indeed we are. And go forward we shall. So, all right, Danny, where should we start?
Well, uh, I think the most important thing is that on July 26th, the North Node, also
North
known as the Node
Node.
of Fate or the Nodes of the Moon, is going to be entering the zodiac sign Aquarius. So
Okay.
when the nodes change, there's two times where I say we're flipping the cosmic page in the chapters of the Book of Life. So it's when eclipses happen and it's when the nodes switch into different signs. So over the last 18 months, the nodes have been moving North Node Pisces, South Node Virgo. So collectively, we have been looking and experiencing and going through things that are really dialed in to the frequency of Pisces and Virgo. You know, a lot about like spirituality and mistakes and, you know, hidden things coming to the surface.
Hmm.
Societally, it's been a very intense period. So, oh,
It
go ahead.
has. And those two aspects are a little bit they almost seem a little opposite because Pisces is so dreamy and fantasy like, and Virgo is so like, let's get things done. It's a very grounded sign for the most part.
Yeah, the nodes are always going to
So
be opposite each
yeah,
other. They're always
yeah.
180 degrees opposite in the sky. So the north node is what we are collectively eating or taking in or ingesting, whereas the south node is
Okay.
what we are collectively releasing, you know. So
Ah, okay.
grace has gone out the window because the south node in Virgo, and it's been more about the north node Pisces, love, making mistakes, correcting mistakes, creativity, spirituality, redemption, devotion.
Yeah, we talked a lot about lovership too in our last episode that we did together too, and I do feel still like we're still in that flow. Thank goodness.
Yeah,
This is what we want because we're I'm going to say transmuting or transforming duality into something a little bit different, that it can look differently from how we've known it to be too. So how does shifting into Aquarius change everything now? So before it was in Pisces and now it's in Aquarius.
yeah. So if Pisces is the virtue of love, well, Aquarius is the sign before it. It's actually the virtue of non-attachment.
Interesting. Oh, you froze, my dear. Okay, we're going to keep going. Okay, let's get some comments going. And so then I
Yeah.
can, okay, are you back?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, you froze at non attachment, which is pretty funny.
I guess so. My internet's working okay, so I don't know why
I,
that happened.
I know some strange things have been happening recently. We're not in Kansas anymore, Dorothy.
I
All
guess
right.
not. But non-attachment is the practice of Aquarius. So over the next 18 months, there becomes a highlight on the idea of what are we letting go? What are we detaching from? Aquarius is the alchemical symbol for dissolving. So when we go to
Ah,
Aquarius, it has a lot to do with dissolving the ego, dissolving the identity, letting go of ways in which we have done things or
right.
what we're attached to. You know, if there's something that we've been holding on to with the South Node in Leo, the South Node is what we're releasing. Leo is the practice of attachment. So we're letting go of attachment, and the cosmic chapter in the Book of Life is asking us collectively to focus on non-attachment. So we might see people exiting relationships that are way past their expiration date. We can see the idea of letting go. A lot of people are doing things like the GLP-1, the Ozempic, those sorts of things. That could be a form of like the masses or the world focusing more on like letting go of excess weight. We can also see the
Hmm.
idea of technology really speeding forward a lot more with like virtual group settings, the advancement forward in terms of how we do relate to each other, whether that's AI, augmented reality, virtual reality, like a lot of these things. It's less about the individual ego. The avatar of the self is dissolving and also upgrading.
Yes, indeed. We're definitely like up leveling pretty quickly, actually, too. And so it's a beautiful thing to watch. And I feel like dissolving the ego doesn't mean you don't have one again. It's like the caterpillar, right? You know, it has to go into the goo and become the butterfly again. Like we're still going to keep our essence of our personality too, but it's the I would say attachment to everything sort of being a reflection of us or about us, and being able to kind of see other beings in their own sovereignty as
Yeah,
well as your own. And that creates this level of non-attachment where it's like I see you and you see me, and it's a very different way of being. It's a very embodied way of, versus, you know, intellectually trying to be that, but to actually embody that. Does that make sense?
absolutely. And
Yeah.
let's just talk about the archetype of Aquarius a little bit.
Okay, let's do it.
So, Pisces, which is what, you know, the age that we were in before the age of Aquarius, ages last 2,150 years. So, Pisces has a lot to do with religion, you know, so all of the major wars during the age of Pisces were over religion and who believed what about God.
Hmm.
So, it's just so fascinating. Like, that's the thing that was the big argument. Now the conversation is going to be shifting over to technology, you know, or what does the group think outside of what religion says? We're moving more towards the hive mind. You and I talked a lot about this conversation when we discussed the age
Yeah.
of Aquarius. I think it was about a year ago, actually. And the archetype of Aquarius has a lot to do with angels. So you have to think
Ah.
angels have a job that they're given by God, and they do that job, and that's what their skill and their talent is. And you know, it's the sign of divine will, Aquarius, versus free will, which would be more Leo. So on a collective
Ah.
level, we're going to see a big turn. We're being asked to take in divine will while releasing the negative qualities of free will. Now, mind you, Jupiter will also be transiting Leo at the same time. So there is still going to be some fun Leo flavor, you know, free will. There's like the blend of free will and divine will, and what happens when those two things actually become the same thing.
Well, yes, because you become in alignment with your soul, or you become in alignment with your mission, the divine flow of life too,
Yeah,
and that enables a state of being that is much more conscious, much more embodied, and it's um, so instead of, it's almost like you know, if it's kind of like the Matrix, where people don't know they're in it, but then when you do know you're in it, you can be in it, but you can be in it with purpose and with meaning, and decide that you're going to play this game, so to speak, in a positive and meaningful way, because it's not just a game, it's a divine orchestrated creation too, right?
Yeah.
And so the role that we play in it then with along with the divine will is much more powerful too. And it's, I would say, probably involves less personal suffering, because we're not seeing everything that happens in the world or everybody's relation to us as completely about us anymore, if that makes sense too. So this is my sort of interpretation of what you're saying too, but it's definitely much more in alignment. And this is where you really can open up a lot of doors to what kind of magic there is for you to really have a really positive, happy life. So I think that's great stuff.
Yeah, yeah. And we can think about Pisces as the sign of the divine feminine, and then
Mm.
Capricorn's the sign of the divine masculine. Aquarius sits between those two signs. So what's between masculine and feminine? We get the divine non-binary or the divine intersex. So if Aquarius is about dissolving the ego, we might see like it's less about the individual identity and more about the collective or going against the norm. You know, we live in a modern
Mhm.
era where people can be trans or non-binary if they want to. They can actually dissolve the ego of what the physical body is and then choose to become something else. So that's
Yes,
one way we can understand non-attachment. But we can
I
also
love that.
think, yeah, we can also think about Aquarius and its highest vibrations. It's about freedom, enlightenment, humanitarianism, being of service, being different, being unique. These are very Aquarian ways of being.
I love that. I love that too. And I think, Danny, we've seen where sort of rigid binary thinking, black and white thinking has taken us. And it's not in the direction that most of us, I think, would prefer.
Yeah,
We see the results of that too. And, or at least we could say, if we want to put it in its most positive light, sometimes you have to experience what you don't want to really know what you do want too. So we can put it that way in a little bit more positive light, so we don't have to look at it as like gone wrong, but to allow more space for, like you said, this uniqueness, allow more space for these are other flavors of oneness or other flavors of the rainbow, and yet we are all the same rainbow, right? Too. And um, the funny thing is the divine will finds a way, I think, to reach everybody and make everybody a little bit different in some way, that they have to step out of the box of conformity and social constructs. And all of that really appears to be kind of going behind us, not completely gone. I still see it really trying to cling to cling to things, you know.
yeah,
I see the clinging happening, but I also see this beautiful grid of spiritual humans forming with such bright lights, that it's changing everything. It really is raising the collective frequency and pulling us in a different direction. So we are part of this shift. We are helping to create and cause this shift too, along with the planets.
absolutely. And, you know, Aquarius is the sign of technology and the future. It's the sign of angels and heaven. Uh,
Mm.
it's also the starry sky. So you have to think Aquarius is like, oh, well, we are all individual and unique stars. So we're going to see this more group minded thinking, being part of the group, being part of the collective, shifting into like this liberation, freedom, and enlightenment perspective. That's what Aquarius is all about.
Yeah, I'm
So,
so happy.
yeah.
I'm
Well,
so happy.
you have to think Aquarius is also known as the water carrier, and we as human
Hmm.
beings are made up of 70% water. So we're Aquarius is the sign of being a human being. Like that's the
Right.
archetype. It's a man or a woman
Yes.
carrying the vessel of water. But the
Yeah.
purpose of that is to serve from the pitcher, to be of service to humanity for what you know how to do.
Hmm. Yeah. I was thinking with the water and all of our beautiful flow of emotional states, you know, and when we learn to really, like you all were saying in the comments, sort of like ride the wave of our emotions. in a way that is more conscious, we really know what it means to, embrace being human as well too. And that's a very spiritual thing, and yeah, having this sort of emergence of masculine and feminine coming together it's a beautiful thing. And so um, I know that Danny, probably a lot of people they really want to see evidence in the 3D of what
Sure.
we're speaking of too. And I do believe we are, and I do believe we will continue to. But I also believe that we're feeling it. We're feeling it energetically. We're feeling it emotionally. Like it's hard to deny at this point, and I think so many of us, including myself, feel more on mission than we ever did before. Because so it's almost like this sort of like it's time, go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and for each of the 12 signs of the zodiac, I've written these sacred laws that go to each one of them. So I just want to read what I've written
Yeah.
about Aquarius here. So we are all divine beings, no one more important than another. Enlightenment means to exercise healthy excuse me. Enlightenment means to exercise healthy non-attachment, achieving freedom from the negative ego, and to love and to serve yourself, others, and the world in proper balance. Now, one of the shadows that Aquarius placements or Aquarius people fall into all the time is that they don't love themselves in proper balance with loving others or the world. Just because Aquarius is the sign of dissolving the ego does not mean that we want to obliterate the self.
Thank
It
you.
it just means we want to,
Right.
do it
We're
in proper balance.
we're polishing, we're refining, we're Michelangeloing the statue.
Yes,
Exactly.
yes, absolutely. So we can think in the 12-step program, Aquarius would be like the 11th step. So it's sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood God, praying only for knowledge of God's will for us and the power to carry that out. So again, this is about
Mm,
divine will. Aquarius, it's
yeah.
very much about like following the divine path of what we were created to be and how we were created to be of service.
Yeah. So there's a bit of letting go of our resistance. It doesn't mean we're not partaking in this beautiful world, but we also understand that we're following the flow of the divine as well too. That helps us to sometimes let go of some of that constriction and resistance too, and also to feel. I think the beautiful thing about that too is you realize you're not alone. You have help. Like there is something driving you. There is something guiding you too. That's pretty darn magical, Mr. Danny, too. I, I want to read Jennifer's comment because she's really into this stuff too. Danny, what are the three waves coming in that all astrologers are talking about? The dates are July 26th, Lionsgate 8/8, August 12th, when there is a total solar eclipse in Leo. I grew up Catholic background, and my grandmother and her sister spoke of the Nostradamus prediction of the 3 days of darkness. I've heard something about that as well. Somebody sent me something, so I'm not sure about that one. Fast forward to now, and many call it a solar flash. Could the flash be the same day as the solar eclipse on the 12th of August?
Mm. Well,
Ooh,
Jennifer, thank you for your comment.
yeah.
I can't tell you that the Flash is going to be happening on the day or not. Unfortunately, if I was that good, um, that would be pretty awesome. But we can see that there is a series of astrological alignments that are lining up. There's in a lot of different mythologies and spiritualities, they talk about how 2027 is the year that the world like really crystallizes and creates this super amazing positive vibration for the earth. So in the
Yeah.
meantime, I mean, here we are, 2026. This is the year that we're supposed to make the jump from the old timeline to the new one. And, there's a
It
lot of
feels like
conversation.
we jumped. It feels like we jumped.
Yeah. Well, and Aquarius is the sign of aliens, so it wouldn't be surprising
Hmm.
if during the North Node in Aquarius transit, maybe we're getting disclosure from aliens, or maybe there's greater conversation about God and, you know, deeper contact with extraterrestrial beings from other planets or dimensions. Um, the 3 days of night, that could be certainly metaphorical, but it could possibly be literal. Maybe the grid goes down or something. I don't know. All I
Yeah.
know is that we as humanity are making a proper ascension to the higher realm and dimension by making this transition to going into 2027, which is supposed to be like the year that the earth changes. And there's been a lot of talk about it for a long time,
Yeah.
and a lot of different
Yeah.
spiritual and faith practices too.
Exactly, too. I just want to, for Teresa Rose, the other comments are coming from, we are streaming on multiple Facebook pages, so you may not be seeing the comments that are being put on other Facebook pages that we're streaming to. And we're also on YouTube pages as well. So we're on the Sacred Spiral YouTube, we're on Medium Jennifer Rose, we're on Danny Santos podcast, the Astro Daddy podcast as well. He's got on his YouTube as well, too. So that's why you're not seeing them all, but we're all here together. We're still all connected, my darling, too. And then Lynn was saying she's very happy. She's taken a long time to become her real self, and she doesn't want to dissolve it just yet. That's beautiful, and I'm so happy. And yeah, a lot of our friends here in the comments are just saying definitely feeling the shifts, just don't even quite know how to verbalize it as well, too. Yeah. So we're all feeling it, and I think that's some of the best evidence too, as we're just like energetically like experiencing to it, feeling all the shifts in our own self, sort of morphing into the next one and the next one and the next one. So it is pretty exciting stuff. So, and more to come too. All right. Are we done with North Node in Aquarius? That's coming this Sunday. And how long does it last? How many years again?
It's about an 18-month period. So
Okay.
I just want to mention like some other things that can help people get extra Aquarius points. So
Ooh, I love
uh,
this.
being of service to other people,
Mm-hmm.
volunteering, sponsoring other people, or like being a sponsor to someone else, emotional fasting. So this would be when we like, if there's a negative attachment we have in our lives, to emotionally fast from it would be to not respond to it. Meditation and prayer. We also have astrology is very Aquarian. Environmentalism, helping to take care of the planet. Doing good deeds, doing charity, putting others first or before ourselves, and graduating from a life lesson. That's an Aquarian thing.
So practice kindness and compassion,
Yeah, absolutely.
giving and serving.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
So these are just the biggest
Yeah.
things. I will say, too, the lowest vibration of Aquarius is the void, nothingness, and feeling invisible. So the most challenging parts of Aquarius are when we feel like we're trapped in the void, where we have to surrender everything, or if we're not getting any love, any attention, anything. That can be a very Aquarian experience, to be neglected by a parent or to have an absent
Mhm.
parent. Those might shape an Aquarius kind of life for a person. But the gift of going to the void is that we learn to see others outside of ourselves. Rather than trying to fill the void, we learn to be of service.
I love
And
that.
Lynn, I am referring to 12-step sponsorship.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I've always loved my Aquarius friends. They're always creative. They're always fun. And they're always attractive too. I'm just like, that's just an Aquarius thing.
Aw, that's nice. I
So,
like that.
that's true. And so
Saturn,
I've always just, yeah, like, wow, it seems to be almost across the board. So
yeah,
I love that.
there's something about them that's like really beyond this realm. So sometimes they'll be
Yeah.
born like really, really beautiful people because they're
Yeah.
beyond the challenges of this earth in some capacity. Not all the time, but like they're just born enlightened,
I
you
love
know?
that. Yeah,
And
I
if you're
love that.
really beautiful, it makes it easier to experience non-attachment because like then people are hitting on you all the time and flirting with you and whatever, and like Aquariuses prefer what's going on the inside for another person rather than what they look like. Like they don't really care about
Mhm.
appearances, and they're usually beautiful anyway, so they're more interested in what's underneath the surface.
Yeah, absolutely. That's beautiful. Okay, my friend, what's next? Should we move into Neptune and Aries?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
All right. That was a pretty yummy shift. It felt really good.
Yeah, Neptune. At its lowest vibration, Neptune is going to be escapism, fantasy,
Hmm.
dissociation, neglect. But
Mm.
in its highest principle and property, Neptune gives us the vibration of healing. It's also spirituality. It's
Yeah.
going to be about forgiveness, atonement,
Yes.
apologizing. Uh, so it's really interesting that we have Neptune going through Aries, because Aries is the sign of the self. So on
Hmm.
top of Neptune being here, Saturn is also here. And when the North Node is in Aquarius, that's placing a special emphasis on Saturn. So what that ends up doing is we're going to be looking at ourselves as individuals and enlightening ourselves in order to be better for the collective, or to be more in divine will. So
Yep.
with Neptune retrograding through Aries, collectively we are reviewing, where are we falling short? How are we as individuals in distorted thinking? How might we be repeating some sort of mistake, especially as it pertains to the zodiac sign Aries? Shame, um, gosh, suffocation, or violence. These are the shadows of Aries.
Hmm.
But we're also given the opportunity to be courageous, to self actualize, to be authentic.
Yes.
Aries teaches us. It's so funny because I just heard the Andrew Huberman podcast recently, and he was
Yeah.
talking about, like, in nature, some rams are just naturally gay.
I have heard this. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like a
Yeah.
very Aries is the archetype of courage, authenticity, and self actualization. Now,
Yeah.
that idea of being gay would be the closest correlated to just be yourself.
Hmm.
So, on a collective level, there is a calling for people to stop trying to cloud or put an
Yeah.
illusion over who they are, and to just be
Yeah.
authentic about who
Yeah.
they are.
It's one of the most brave things that you can do. I know how scary that is. But then I think a lot of us have come to understand, those of us who are really into personal development and um, uh, growth and spiritual growth and so forth too, is that not being yourself is not only quite painful, but it just doesn't end up working. It keeps feeding the same patterns, and extending your own personal suffering as well too. So it's courageous, but it's also one of the best gifts that you can strive for and give to yourself too. And so I feel like this all sort of culminates into deep self love and then unconditional love for others.
Yeah, yeah,
Going back to
and
lovership, deep self love,
absolutely.
unconditional love for others.
Well, and
Yeah.
with Neptune going through Aries, it really does offer us the opportunity to heal the whatever is going on with the
Hmm.
self, in order
Yeah.
to be more authentic, more courageous, to be in our power,
Hmm.
you
Yeah.
know?
Which is all of
And
those insecurities, and they're not wrong. They showed up because we were all just trying to survive as kids, in a challenging world that we didn't fully understand. And when we're little, everything is about us, right? And so
yeah,
it's not wrong to have them. It's just we just don't need them anymore, right?
yeah.
And so it changes everything. So
Well,
isn't it interesting that we're transforming, but we really start to see the evidence of personal transformation and how it affects the collective.
yeah. And by being courageous enough to be ourselves and to step into our truth, that gives us the opportunity to be better for the world, you know?
It does.
And
Biggest gift.
if we could say also, like, Aries would be the first step in the 12-step program. So that's the idea of, like, admitting that we are powerless over alcohol or family dysfunction or an eating disorder or whatever somebody might be powerless over. But it's admitting that we are powerless over something. That's a courageous act. It's the beginning of the
Yeah.
12-step program. So the
Yeah.
Neptune in Aries retrograde could be us, like, really observing, what's the problem that I've been repeating again and again and again in my life? what's the thing that has been constantly like a hamster wheel for me, and how can I address the problem? And Saturn is here in Aries as well. So
I don't know. It felt really good to me. I was enjoying it. I was like, this
yeah.
feels great. But it felt very healing. It really did feel very healing. And it felt almost like a balancing too. Like
Yeah.
things were sort of coming into more balance. And so maybe that's a good word for us to think of and maybe meditate on, is just balance. And sometimes we go out of balance, but that's okay. That's part of the balance, as Kachuk from Eat, Pray, Love would always say. That's like,
Yeah,
Shoot,
absolutely.
I love that. Okay, I just want to check in with Jennifer here. Her nan, that's grandma in England, passed in 2007, guided her on her spiritual path. She lost her faith in 2005 after her son was diagnosed with a chromosome deletion. I'm so sorry, Jennifer. Yeah, she's such a good mom, and
Oh,
she's had health issues with her kids. Having already had a son with lifelong disabilities, I questioned God, lost my grandmother, and God found me. We had a Leo Aquarius eclipse axis in 2007 to 2009. She lost her mom in 2018. There was a Leo Aquarius axis in 2017 18. These are not too kind to me as in loss, but then my faith and spirituality strengthens. Ah,
yeah.
I
So
love that you find the strength in the difficult transits.
yeah, and divine will can sometimes mean God is taking something from us. You know, so like death
Yeah,
can be a form of like, well, it's God's will, whereas Leo is like free will and what we're attached to. So there's
yeah,
just a big, it's a big conflict, and this theme is going to be reemerging, Jennifer, over your life over the next 18 months. It's something to look at.
yeah. So we're also talking about control. How much control do we have? I think that we can go on both ends of the spectrum. We can become too controlling, and that's when we go into a lot of resistance, and we're trying to force everything to be a certain way. Too, and that's when we have to surrender a little bit to the divine will and the flow, and just like, whoo, like let's like, whoo, and you take a lot of that after. But we can go on the other side of the spectrum where we become so passive that we're not really even engaging in the world or in our own life either. So finding again the balance of that.
Yeah, that's the thing with the nodes, is it's highlighting these two things that are totally opposite of each other. So it creates this friction, this difficulty, and hidden things are manifested by their opposites. So what's in between divine will and free will? Sovereignty versus enlightenment. Like, it's just a really interesting contrast for us
Mhm.
to witness. And we're in the age of Aquarius, so the age of divine will, where the planet is supposedly upgrading to higher octaves of humanitarianism and love, and seeing the world in a different way.
Yeah. Well, when people talk about free will, I can go, well, who's free will?
Well, and who's
which,
divine
which,
will?
yeah, exactly. So we just have to question, like, so when you make a decision to do something, who decided that? Which part of you? Because we're so multidimensional too. So it puts us in a little bit of a mental pretzel. But I think we can experience a greater level of sovereignty and alignment with the divine, alignment with the soul, the more we integrate the self too. And
Yeah.
that's kind of like the key that locks in the door. And then you kind of find that you can sort of have a both, an and or both thing happening as well too. Um, Ashley had a funny comment. I'm emotionally fasting from dating apps.
Hey, that's a good place to start. Aquarius would argue go volunteer at your local homeless or soup kitchen, as an opportunity of like doing something good for someone else. They talk a lot in the 12-step program about like getting out of the self.
Mhm.
I never
Yeah.
struggled with alcoholism or anything, but I did the 12 steps of ACA. So those are for people that come from family dysfunction in
Mhm.
one way or another. And I'm about to redo the 12 steps with a friend, just because I want to, continue trying to live in integrity with my life. And the
Yeah.
exercise he's giving me is to create a phone list, and I need to call 2 people a day and just ask them how they're doing without engaging in gossip, without talking about
Mhm.
myself or my own problems, and simply being of service to other people. So this would be
Yeah.
very Aquarian in practice. It's
I
getting out
love
of,
that.
because if we go into our own problems, we can just swim in them forever. So
It's true.
Aquarius says, yeah, that's there, but why don't you try fasting off of it and like think about somebody else for a little bit?
Yeah. So practice holding space for another person
Yeah,
and let it be about them for a little
yeah.
while.
We could say
Um,
it could be a form of
yeah,
embracing infinity.
indeed it can. Well, well done, Danny. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
um, and yeah, when we, like you said, when we get swimming in it, when we get swimming in all that too, and that may have a place too. That's very like dark night of the soul. So I get that too. But there is a flip when you really start to not see everything as a reflection of you, because it's a strange paradox because we're trying to get into more oneness. Yet, in order to get to more oneness, we have to self actualize. And to self actualize, we have to realize that not everything is attached to us or reflected, a reflection of us and who we are as a person or as at least a soul, right? And but we see it all that way. And so when we start to kind of self-actualize and become more sovereign, more independent, more free spirited, then all of a sudden we have this greater level of connection to all of humanity. So it's very paradoxical, yet it makes sense. But this is the mystery of the divine universe that we flow in,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Too.
You know,
Um,
did I mention to you recently about the poem that I wrote about paradoxes and humanity?
um, I know you shared one with me the other day, but I don't think it was that one.
I actually I think I shared it with you over the phone.
That was the same one.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
yeah,
was
yeah.
really good. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was really good.
so
It was beautiful.
so the premise of the poem is that hidden things are seen from the opposite view. My mission in life is to be more like you. And
Mm,
this would be an incredibly Aquarian way of being, to have the humility that my mission in life is to be more like you, is
yeah.
dissolving the ego enough to say, hey, I know you're not perfect, but I'm shining the light on you, as a way of saying, I want to learn to be more like your positive qualities. You know, that's a beautiful
Hmm.
thing to say.
I love that. I want to be more like your positive qualities.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Um, Danny, should we speak about the Barbault basket? Because there's been a lot of excitement about that. Everybody's talking about that. And I know the
Yes.
peak was like the 22nd, I think, or something through the July 16th through the 22nd. But yeah, I've been seeing posts left and right all about that on. So there's a lot of excitement.
Yeah, and
Where do we want to go?
I had to outsource my info today because
Yeah.
while I love astrology, this is not my expertise. I'd never heard of this aspect until it was starting to pop up on my feed. People were messaging me, asking me about it.
Hmm.
Um, so I really got to give credit to my friend Jason Diltz. He's at Tiga Cal Deep on Instagram. All of the information I'm going to share today is sourced from him. So let's really do a deep dive on the Barbault Basket because it's really powerful. So, Jason works with what's known as an evolutionary astrology perspective. So, he's always talking about how we use the astrological archetypes to evolve in our soul's journey. And he said it's not the astrology or the teachings of the zodiac that's important. It's more about the basket itself, the idea of the basket, and what are these planets doing with this basket formation. So, first of all, who was Andre Barbault? You know, in French, his last name is pronounced Barbault. It's spelled Barbault, but it's the Barbault's basket. So Andre Barbault was a French astrologer who spent his entire life studying history through the planetary cycles. And he actually discovered that whenever the slow moving planets compressed into an unusually tart formation, humanity would reach an evolutionary threshold. So, this is what we're experiencing. Humanity is reaching this evolutionary threshold. And this is when old systems would dissolve. And you're talking, Jennifer, about like, oh my God, I felt the shift. Yeah, this Barbault's Basket is creating a dissolving of our systems, and this is when new world paradigms would emerge, and when civilization itself would reset and be reorganized. For decades, Barbault pointed to July of 2026 as one of those rare turning points in humanity. So here we are, it's happening. And this basket is comprised of Jupiter, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. And they're all gathered exactly at 4 degrees, creating what is known as Barbault's Basket. So Jason, my friend who I got this info from, really went deep on the idea of what is a basket? Well, it's a container. This Barbault's Basket alignment is not creating a journey, but it's asking, what do we want to carry forward with us as we go on the journey? And what does the soul need to take out of the basket? And what does your soul want to put in instead? So this is what Barbault's Basket is really about. The 4 outer planets asking that very specific question. So Pluto is asking which desires have completed their evolutionary purpose. Not because they were wrong, but because your soul no longer needs those for what it's becoming. It's about releasing outdated desires. Uranus is asking what future is trying to liberate you from the person you've been. Not because you're leaving, not because you're taking, not what you're taking out of the basket, but what are you putting in for who you are becoming. Neptune is asking what illusion must dissolve so that your deepest longing can become visible. Sometimes a dream has to disappear before a vision can arrive. And that's what Neptune is trying to show us all collectively right now, what needs to be dissolved in order for it to become visible. And then Jupiter asks us what truth is asking to become the organizing principle of our next chapter. Not simply what do you believe, but the meaning your life wants to embody. What is the meaning of your life? So this is why Jason, my friend, who shared all of this information, likes the imagery of the basket. Because he says, think of all the things that need to go into the basket to answer the questions we had about Pluto, Uranus, Neptune, and Jupiter. At moments of profound evolutionary change, the question isn't, what do I need to let go of? Instead, it is, what does my soul insist on carrying into the world that is being born now? So, what is wisdom? What are the gifts? What is your purpose? And who do you need to be? What do you need to let go of in order to be who you are destined to be? And what do you need to go towards? Because this is Barbault's Basket. It's asking for evolutionary change on an individual level to create a humanitarian force going forward. So quite a loaded thing, but I had to really dig in and get the info.
I was muted. I was saying, oh, it's beautiful, beautifully spoken too. And it's evolve yourself, evolve the collective, evolve yourself, evolve the world, and see what happens.
Eliminating what's standing in the way of the self truly
Mm-hmm.
being its most powerful and important form.
Yeah. And so this involves some being willing to really step out of the box of who you thought you were, or the sort of constructs or societal influence that have shaped us throughout our years. And then we have to like really make some deep looks at, is that really me? What do I believe that because it's what I truly believe and hold dear to my heart? Or is it because that's how I was raised and society believes it, so I believe it, right? And so you have to really start to kind of like chip away at some of these things. But that allows, like you say, the Michelangelo statue, right, to come through, right? As we chip away everything that maybe we thought was us that isn't us. Nothing gone wrong. It's all transformation, right?
Right.
It's all the beauty of transformation. But that's beautiful. I know they've also called it the Cosmic Cradle as well too. And I want to say hi to Melissa, who's joined us. Shannon Rattay, the lovely Queen of Angels, is here as well too. She has a lovely class on connecting with your guides coming up this coming Monday. So if you want to check out Shannon Rattay, please do that. And there's still time to sign up for that too. Miss Labyrinth Criterion is here as well. Hello, hello, Labyrinth. Thank you for joining us. And Miss Susan Kramer from the UK is here as well. So good to see you. Susan is, you got a fan here. Love Danny Santos, wonderful medium. Yeah.
Thanks,
I think she was on
Susan.
our Sunday service when you were doing the mediumship, when you were our guest medium.
That's so sweet. Thank you so much, Susan.
Yeah, and she's sweet. And Jennifer saying, extraordinary times we are living in. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Jill Santos. Hi, Jill.
Yeah. Hi, Jill. I know. She's kin in a spiritual kind of way. Hi, Jill. Good to see you. Really happy that you're all here. Thank you all for coming on too. Okay. On our last show, Danny, we spent a lot of time talking about Gemini. And then with that, we were also talking about the connection with the twin flames and, how they're helping to evolve humanity as well. How are these new placements affecting the twin flame community or phenomenon or whatever you want to call it? I'm seeing kind of a lighting up of the frequency happening too. So something big is happening as we're all sort of connected around the planet, like I said, in this beautiful grid.
Yeah, and when I think of twin flame, I think more of the Gemini archetype. So today, as we're talking, Mars is moving through Gemini. The planet Uranus is going to be going through Gemini, I believe, until 2033. So there's just a really heavy Geminian archetype going on. And, I can't really say in terms of the twin flame stuff. As somebody who I feel as though I've really lived through 2 twin flames in this lifetime, I know that those relationships made me a better person. Yeah. And they're just incredibly challenging. It's got that Gemini arc of fragmentation at the lowest vibration of Gemini, but the highest vibration of Gemini is peace, unity, and lovership. So, is it fragmenting you or is it lovership?
Probably a little bit of both, but it does seem like a gentler energy this year than it did last year. Yeah. For the twins, things like I think a lot more twins have come to peace and are coming to understand the mission part of why they signed up for like the golden thing on the top shelf of spiritual of what I want to be when I be kind of thing.
Yeah. Do you think twins are destined to end up together beyond this world?
Oh, beyond this world? Well, that's a different question too. We know a lot of them don't seem to come together physically or in the 3D in this world, in the earth of reality. That seems to be not all of them. Some of them do make it. They do enough healing, or that's their destiny, and they even end up getting married. I've seen a few, but the vast majority, they don't seem to come together in that way. It would take, like you said, a great deal of transcending your chart. It's a very tall order of spiritual work to make that happen. But that doesn't mean you can't find purpose in it and you can't find peace with it too, because you've been taught the ultimate lesson in unconditional love and got to experience a very high frequency of love. And that's a gift once you can, move past the heartache or the heartbreak of that too. But beyond this world, I think so. I think so. I think that a lot of twins pass away. One of them passes away. So there's an element of the tragic romance theme kind of happens with that too. And from what I've seen is all it's very Romeo and Juliet. And so what I've seen from the twins I know who have had their twin pass away, they still feel them. They're still connected. That doesn't change. So, but I've had that same question too. I've always wondered, like, what happens then? Because it would give you sort of an existential crisis because you're so used to that connection. Right?
Yeah. Well, and the purpose of the twin is to force us to learn the most difficult lessons in life. And lessons of non-attachment and unconditional love, letting go, surrendering, or forcing us to develop our own deficiencies within ourselves. Like for me, my North Node is Sagittarius, which is about learning to see the shades of gray in life.
Hmm.
And to have a twin flame, it's like, how can you be so in love with somebody who's also not available? That was a tremendous lesson that I've had to learn because of a twin flame dynamic.
Yeah. Now, here we go into one of the ultimate paradoxes because they are essentially the mirror of you, another aspect of you. They are you. You're one system, yet you have to detach from everything being a reflection of you that they do or that they say or how this works out. You have to let go, find your own inner union to be able to kind of like move past that, to kind of like learn that lesson. That's kind of like the ultimate paradox, because here you are interacting with somebody who is essentially another you in another body, and yet you have to find the you in you and not see everything as about you, if that makes sense. So I know it gets a little bit like pretzel-y in our brain to think about that way, but that is the ultimate mysticism of it all too. And but that's how you get to the unconditional love. That's how you get to the non-attachment, a healthy version of that. Because I do understand unconditional love, people can see as being very unhealthy, especially in romantic partnerships too. And that doesn't mean you become a doormat and accept behavior that is hurtful or harmful to you. It doesn't mean that. It means you see them as their own person. They're on your journey. It's not always about you, right? And you just go,
Right.
okay. And so then it's not affecting you as much too. So we're like, we've talked about this before, Danny, in other shows, it breaks all of the rules of how you think everything is supposed to be.
Yeah. And that's a hard place for anybody to function out of,
It's very hard, yeah. But I
Like,
think that's where you find your most freedom, your most
yeah.
internal freedom. So for me, the lesson of learning um, that I am, worthy and valuable, and all of those good qualities, like the ultimate self-love, and to where now anything that happens around me in relationship to other people or events in the world is not going to affect me. It's not going to knock me off this high tower anymore. It might be a little bump, might be a little ouch, right? Might be a little mini dark night of the soul, right? But it's
Yeah.
not like that big of a fall anymore, too, because when you have more sense of self within you.
So let me ask you from a mediumship point of view. When our soul leaves this plane and goes to the other side, do we get to maintain our individual identity? Do we get to be
Well,
ourselves?
you're a
And
medium too, my friend.
yeah, but I want to hear. I haven't asked the question.
Oh,
You know?
okay. Well, we're switching roles for just a few minutes, everybody.
Yeah,
Okay.
just curious because that's
So I'll give you my answer. I think we retain our essence that we came into this reality with, right? So if you're naturally born funny, you're going to die funny and you're still going to be funny. You're still going to keep your sense of humor because that was a quality and essence of your aspect of the divine self that will continue on. Things that, layers you may have gained along the way, like you probably, I don't see ego in spirit worlds. I see people showing me mediumistically how they were when they were here. But I see them in spirit world. They've multiple times they've shifted and shown me their divine self. So I know that they're expressing them as personality so that we recognize them. But then they show me how they are now in spirit world, and it's just like light. It's light. It's
Mm,
bright golden light. They're fully reconnected with the soul of them, without the loss of memory or the veil, whatever you want to call that too.
okay.
So that's a beautiful thing. And that would
So
match a lot of the NDEs. You do a lot of NDE interviews, so that would match a lot of what people who have gone far enough along in that transition to, but actually still came back.
yeah, it sounds
Yeah.
like we don't lose our individual identity and that our soul is eternal and then it goes forever.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
the reason I ask is because now I want the context of the twin flame. Like, are we all designed with this one soul who is our twin flame soul, like true mate, and then we come in and have to experience that dynamic? Like what's going on there?
Yeah, that's a really good question. We might have to do another show on this together,
I
Danny.
think we
Just-
do, because
okay, we'll do
the
another show
people
on
want
this.
to
Or
know.
okay, well, I'll come on Astro Daddy with you, and
would
we'll just,
love
I'll,
would love that conversation.
I love talking about this stuff too. It's so much fun. But I think the soul is very multidimensional, and it can project itself in a multifaceted way. So we can, if we look at no time, that there really is one now, then everything happening all at once, all timelines happening at once, all versions of history happening at once, right? So people who have past life regressions can experience another lifetime that's concurrent. It's not past, it's not future, it's concurrent. So that means there is another part of soul that is existing in another reality. That doesn't mean that's your twin, though, right? Because you would feel a magnetic pull towards them if it was, and you'd end up meeting them, right? Too. But I explain this on Karen's show too. Think of it this way: as you and your twin are the exact same frequency, whereas your soul could project itself in multiple lifetimes at different frequencies. If that makes
Whoa.
sense. It's a way of like being able to organize it in your mind, if that makes sense too. But the beautiful thing is that yes, it's painful because you're uh, catalyzing all of the internal healing in each other. So it's like a massive trigger. But you end up also, the flip side of that is you're also activating the qualities within each other that may be less fulfilled, if that makes sense.
Yes.
And so that's the positive, is like you bring out the best each other. You may bring out the worst each other. You also bring out the best in each other too. So that's the positive end of it too. And then there's the mission. And I know there's probably different schools of thought on this, Danny, but we all volunteered here. Where a lot of us are star seeds. We volunteered here. We didn't just come here for a romance. We came here for a mission. We came here to help with the evolution of humanity. So that means we have to take it upon each of ourselves to do the work, to really like put the effort in and enjoy your life. Enjoy living. This is an exciting time to be alive. I know it's crazy out there, but have fun too.
Yeah,
Right?
it is an exciting time to be alive, and just very curious to see how things are really going to evolve for us over the next 18 months.
I am too. Yeah, we got big changes ahead. All right, let's see what our friends are saying. Okay. But if each soul is a unique frequency, would that not cause a quantum issue? Oh, that's a great question.
Let's put it this way. It's not that they're vibrating at the identical frequency. It's that they're vibrating at the frequency that just so happens to like complement. It's like if you've got like something shaped like this and something shaped like this, and you put them together, and they just go together seamlessly. So it's not the exact identical frequency, but it's like the key, the lock that turns the key to the frequency. That's how I would imagine it.
Yeah, I love that too. And I think we're also talking macro and micro. So on the macro level, the divine is all one. It's all one frequency. It's all one divine. It's beyond words. It's incomprehensible, ineffable to an extent too. But we can see that as that. If we look at the divine aspect of our being, the light within each and every one of us, it is perfect and beautiful and always has been and always will be. That is all one beautiful unified frequency. Experientially, we experience a lot of different frequencies here, and we experience ourselves in different frequencies as well too. It's experientially, so it's a little bit different. So I'm not sure if I'm answering your question too, Ronnie, but I mean, Arnie, forgive me. But that's like you. So we're kind of given a couple different takes on that as well too. So, but would it cause a quantum issue? I don't think so. I'm not a quantum mechanics expert, but would not self-seeing, Would not self-seeing self cancel out self? Self-seeing self. Oh, that's a great question. It's like you look in the mirror and you see yourself.
That's it. Well, welcome back to paradoxes.
I know, right? That's exactly.
Yeah. I like what Lynn said, no victims here, just volunteers. And that's like,
Yeah,
if we think about Dolores Cannon and her school of thought of like, we all come here to Earth, you can't skip a grade, you have to do everything,
yeah, yeah. I agree. Okay. Miss Susan, I'm a Virgo. What is my twin flame? I'm not familiar with astrology yet.
So
Okay.
it's,
I might direct you to a couple other shows. On that one too.
yeah,
Uh,
it's not based on your zodiac sign. I mean,
yeah.
it could be if you look at the chart between two people and then the composite relationship chart and like, there are ways to maybe observe things that could denote a twin flame dynamic, but it's not so cut and dry that you're a Virgo and, your twin flame is going to be a Pisces just because that's your opposite sign or something.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, Susan, just to give you a nutshell definition, there are some souls that are here that discover that there is another human on this planet, that there is a very strong, soulful, high frequency magnetic pull or attraction to. And it's a dynamic or an experience that defies everything. Most people, it's heavily romanticized out there in the community. Not wrong, but there's much more to it. Some people, they desire to have that experience. Those of us who have had it probably would say maybe not, because it is one of the most painful things that you will go through. It is forces rapid growth on you as well too. Yet there are some beautiful gifts, because you do get to when you find yourself to the other side, the experience of really understanding what unconditional love means, authentic unconditional love, what that means, and starting to put that into practice and discovering who you are now that you have healed and let go of old versions or old layers or old patterns, and then to really discover that true you in you. That's a beautiful gift too. So that's a really quick version, but I can definitely send you. I just did a whole podcast devoted to this with Karen Bonafilio too. But Danny Santos and I talked about it on our last astrology show quite a bit because of the Gemini. We were talking a lot about Gemini in that show. So
Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah.
Is there anything that we haven't covered, Danny? Let me see here. I just want to make sure we haven't left any out. Does anyone have any questions too? So we talked about the Aquarius and Leo axis. Did we do that?
Yeah. We talked about
That's
attachment versus non-attachment.
yeah, that's right. Neptune retrograde, the Barbault basket, the twin. Okay. And a little bit about the spiritual alchemy, your shamanic wisdom, your intuitive magic, and cosmic timing to align with your highest dharma. That's very Danny. So let me hand that over to you, love.
Sure. So when we're talking about cosmic dharma and alignment, this is a very interesting mix between free will and divine will once again.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe before we're born, we all come in with a plan of what we want to achieve, the kinds of things we want to do, the kinds of growth and expansion we want to experience. The human lifetime is an opportunity for the soul to grow. So when we come in here, we all have natural gifts, talents, and abilities that we want to expand. And like Dolores Cannon talks about, Earth is a school. So when we're here, we're tested and we're, like energy attracts like energy. So when it comes to our karmic path, we're here to try to develop and find ourselves through the work that we're doing. And so usually the older a soul is, the more difficult their incarnations keep getting. It's like, so let's think about it this way. Like, have you ever played Tetris?
Not much. I'm not very
Okay.
familiar with that game.
Okay. I'm trying to think of like just a video game or something. Let's say, I don't know, sewing or knitting or whatever. It could be anything. Cooking. Once you learn how to do something really simple, or you get really good at the earlier levels in the game, it starts to get boring. And there's not a lot
Mm.
of growth that can
Ah.
happen. You know, like if you learn how to do a mitten once and you just make mittens the rest of your life, if you're knitting, like it might get boring. So people are like, yeah, I learned how to do a cross stitch and all this other, like you start to get fancy with it. So coming here on Earth, our experiences, our following incarnations, oftentimes we're going to choose to be born to a set of circumstances that maybe some other souls shouldn't jump into because they don't have the soul experience to be able to carry them through like
Mm.
multiple years of trauma and coming from a negative family dynamic and growing up with addiction or whatever. You know, instead it's the soul and the journey. We go through hard things and suffering because it expands our ability to have compassion. It opens up the ability to want to be of service and to help other people.
Mm.
On an evolutionary scale, the difficult lifetimes are for the more powerful souls. So if you have a hard life,
Mm.
it's likely that the soul
Yeah.
volunteered to take the position, especially if nobody else wants to do it.
Um, I really love how you worded that too. And I think it allows us to have some grace over the challenging experiences that we go through too. And like as Lynn said, we're volunteers, not victims too. So it's quite helpful to have that wider, broader lens sometimes. Sometimes we need to focus in the lens and be more in the micro and be really into the fine details of things. But then go back and look at that from the broader perspective of that too. And that I think it helps us to give some grace and some peace and find meaning. I think as human beings, we just like if we can find some meaning in this experience, maybe not even the why, but at least some meaning in it,
Yeah.
and then decide to transform it and turn it into something positive, that's quite a gift. And I think that's how most people feel when they go through challenging things is like, well, if I can at least help one person from this, then I can make peace with the experience, that I can do something with it. And even from spirit world, perhaps souls will be like, I went through this challenging addiction in my lifetime. So now I'm going to be a guide and a helper for other people on earth that are going through that too. So we gradually evolve, evolve, evolve. And this is all about evolution, right? And we've been talking about it. I know I've been talking about it for years. We've all been talking about this evolution. And here now we're actually seeing some really exciting things happen. Danny, Lynn had a question for you. What main dates should we watch out for then? So this Sunday, the North Node is this Sunday, right?
Yes. Yes. Um, let's see. I have some dates pulled up here. November 19th of 2026, Pluto will reach 5 degrees Aquarius, and this is going to be one of the most major stabilizations as we begin to see that the age of Aquarius is like taking form. Um,
Wow.
yeah, so it's going to be, also be interesting because there's going to be a Venus retrograde going through October and November. Um, we also had the dates that were mentioned earlier in the conversation. So I believe that was August 3rd and August 12th. Those are some dates that we have coming up, just with
Yeah.
eclipses like right around the corner.
The Lions Gate on 8/8 as well. So we've
Yes,
got,
yes.
and that literally is right around the corner. We're almost in August. Can you believe it?
Yeah,
Too?
yeah. So
Wow.
July 2027, this is when Uranus is like going to be really like exploding. Supposedly, there's going to be a lot of explosive acceleration with AI, networking, aviation, information technologies. Um, it's just a really pivotal time in humanity. Like, sure, we can point to one date here or there, but I think between now and 2028, it is just consistent because we've got Saturn going through Aries, Uranus going through Gemini, Pluto through Aquarius. Like these alignments that we're discussing, they're coasting here for quite some time.
Wow.
So we're in the sauce.
It's not short lived shifts. This is big shifts.
This is big
Really
shifts.
big. Wow. Okay. as we keep saying, everybody, buckle up.
Buckle up, Buttercup.
Here we are. But we're doing it. We're doing it. We had some big shifts all year long. I know it's really been, I think a lot of people are just kind of the exhaustion they would feel at the end of the year, they're feeling halfway through the year. It's been going that fast
Yeah.
too. But it's an exciting time to be on this planet. It's an exciting time to be alive. And I think there is this continuous greater remembering that's happening, Danny. Call it awakening, call it remembering, whatever you wish. And it's allowing us all to get more in alignment with our purpose. And the planets do seem to be reflecting that.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I know I'm feeling it, and I know you're feeling it. So
Absolutely. And I'm quite happy about it too. So yesterday was just beautiful. I was just like, I was driving and I was just like, oh my gosh, it's different. It was just like that. It was like everything seemed to like right itself or find a balance or a harmony too. And I was like, so I was just wowed by it. And I know the Mercury retrograde ended it, but I do think it was more than that. So yeah. Wow. Okay, Mr. Danny.
Miss Jennifer.
My cosmic friend. What do you want to leave us with here today after we've dissected all of this planetary?
Let's see. I am tempted to say, is it possible for me to read to perform my poem that I read to you on the
Go
phone?
for it. We would love to. We would love to hear your poem.
Let me
Go
grab
get
my
it.
phone because it's been charging.
All
Give me
right.
just a second.
Go grab your phone. I'm going to talk to our friends. Miss Lynn, I believe part of my life purpose was to do a massive karmic cleanup and reparation. I love that for you, Lynn, too. I know we just did a show on that, but look at where you ended up with your soulmate. You're so lucky. Okay. Such a beautiful, informative conversation. Thank you, Danny Kelly. Much love and gratitude. We love you too, Jennifer. Okay. Hi, Charlene. All right, Danny.
Okay, so we were talking about it earlier, but this is a poem that I actually wrote about the twin flame dynamic. So it doesn't have to be the twin flame. It could be anyone. It's just the idea of hidden things are manifested by their opposites. And when we get context of ourselves in another person and we're willing to bow the ego down and say, I want to learn to be more like you, that's what this song is about. So it's called The Red Sea. So I'm going to have to read my lyrics here because I don't have it fully memorized, but here we go. Come, follow me down to the cove by the sea, where all endings have new beginnings. I'm swallowed whole by the weight of the deep in the belly of a blue whale spring. If the water's red and the flame is blue, hidden things are seen from the opposite view. If the water's red and the flame is blue, my mission in life is to be more like you. Come, follow me down to the cove by the sea, where all endings have become new things. From hollow to whole is the fate of the free, in the beacon of a blue well spring. If the flame is blue and the water's red, the lion's bod has a human head. From the days of old where the sea was dead, my mission in life is to connect the thread. Where the water's red from the algae bloom, the ibis soars under the sturgeon moon. And from life to death, from the grave to womb, life flashed before your eyes in the one true classroom. The meaning of life, it is up to you. To love your life, it is up to you. My mission in life is to be more like you. The meaning of life is to see your life through. And that's it.
Oh, I'm near tears. That's so
Oh,
beautiful, Danny. It put me into a trance. It's
thank
so
you.
beautiful. I can just tell you just channeled all of your beauty into that too. It's just
Oh,
absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that with all of us
you're
too.
welcome. And thank
Yeah,
you for giving me the opportunity to just sing a little poem
yeah.
on embracing infinity.
I
Thank you.
love it. Oh, that's the best. That's the best of all of everything we've done today is to get to listen to that and hear you and see you in all your beauty and all your glory
Oh,
too. And I think that that poem also is, you know, one of the best ways of basically everything that we discussed today is in there.
yeah.
It's a form of art too,
Yeah, the
right?
paradox, flames
Yeah.
are normally red and water is normally blue. But if we can keep our own divine essence and learn to be a
Hmm.
flame that can burn blue, or like the Red Sea,
Hmm.
the algae blooming to make the water red, these things are taking on more godly properties by
Yeah.
exuberating qualities opposite of
Mm.
what's natural to them.
Spiritual alchemy, baby.
Spiritual alchemy.
Absolutely beautiful. Danny, I'm so grateful for your time and your presence here today and sharing your heart and your wisdom, your love, and your beautiful poem and song. It was more like a prayer. You know, it's a prayer, a poem, and a song all wrapped in one. You really
Yeah.
did capture that too. I want to thank our beautiful friends here for coming on and watching and supporting it, especially in the midsummer too. You're all here too with us too. We're so grateful. We are blessed to have such a lovely, wonderful, and supportive community. So I want to just give a big thanks to each and every one of you. A gentle reminder for the Love of Spirits is this coming Sunday, my Sunday spiritual service. It is our last one before summer break. We'll be back in September. You can join that by going to mediumjenniferrose.com and just find the event and follow the steps. And that way you can receive the Zoom link to join us here on Sunday. And then on Monday for the Monday night lineup, we have Inner Realms Outer Journeys with Karen Bonifilio. Ryan Lar, who's here with us today from Beyond the Light, I will be his guest. And then the Love Show, my sister show, topping us off at 6 p.m. And Brian Lar will be my guest too. So it's a really fun Monday night lineup. So please do join us for that as well. We're very excited. Brian and I are very excited to be working together on Monday. We're going to have a lot of fun together too. Oh, thank you, Miss Evelyn. she's reminding me. I was so blessed and fortunate to be interviewed by Alex Ferrari on the Next Level Soul podcast. It has nearly 1.2 million subscribers. So as you can imagine, like that was a big whoa for me. So I'm very excited. And it will be premiering tomorrow, Saturday, the 25th at 4:30 a.m. Pacific, 7:30 Eastern, and 12:30 p.m. in the UK. I'm going to try my best to wake up early and be there as it's premiering and kind of going live. I hope I can make it. My air conditioner's been broken, so I haven't slept very much in a couple of days, but it just got fixed. So we'll see how we do tonight too. I just want to put a big thank out to Alex Ferrari and the Next Level Soul team and to Spirit for helping me to create this. So thank you, Miss Evelyn, for supporting and reminding me to share that out with you. So I'd love it if you could join us. And if not, if you have a chance to watch the replay, I hope you get something out of it too. So it was a lovely experience for me. So thank you for that, everybody too. And with that, a shout out to our producer, creator of the Sacred Spiral Network, Kelly Brickle, who is off on travel in New York at Lilydale. She's having a great time. And our beautiful Lori Smith is helping us to produce the show here today, making all this run so beautiful, smoothly. You can connect with Danny at santoscrystalvisions.com. And you can subscribe on YouTube to his YouTube channel, Astro Daddy. Do I have that right?
That's right.
And you can find him on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, Santos Crystal Visions as well too. All of that is in the description on Facebook and on YouTube as well. And with that, my beautiful friends, I will say live well, love you well, and walk with grace. These steps will take you far. Have a beautiful and magical weekend, and we'll see you all again very soon on Embracing Infinity and a lot of other beautiful places. Love you, Danny, my friend. Thank you.
Love you too, Jennifer. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Bye.